name is Omid Daryani. I'm the Senior Brand Manager for the EverQuest franchise. Welcome to the Roundtable. With me today is Jake Sones, Lead Building and UI Designer.
That's me.
We're talking about UI. That's why you're here.
That's why I'm here.
So the question this week is, should we allow a moddable UI? What are your thoughts on that?
Right. Yes. So straight off the bat, I think we should allow a moddable UI. We're still working on the details on how we're going to do that. But it was really interesting to see people's opinions on the types of moddable UI.
Can I stop you for 1 second?
Sure.
And can we clarify that we're talking about Next or Landmark?
Right. So we're talking about both eventually. Landmark will not be moddable at launch, but we're putting in all the systems and all the backends. So when we do flip that switch, it will be ready to go and ready to be moddable.
Cool. So this is mostly about Next.
Yeah, mostly we're talking about Next here.
Okay.
But yeah, the way that people wanted to mod the UI is really interesting. The poll that we had found that people wanted just the best UI, right? Whether that came from SOE or whether that came from mods or whether it was a blend of the two. And that's great because that's our goal as well. Like we want to provide the best the best UI that we can, and give people the opportunity to add their mods on top of that. Like add a level of personalization that we can't please all of the people all the time. So to give them the opportunity to do something that's specific to them is really exciting.
Yeah, and mod communities in a lot of ways are like leading indicators of things that may need to change.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's why they're so vibrant in other games is because of that ability to sort of guide the development team to a new place.
Right, and that's another really exciting thing about it is seeing where community goes and then seeing how we can shift our UI in order to fit the better needs of the community.
Yeah, because it's a growing game, so
absolutely
things are going to change over time.
The game will change, the UI will change. It's really a liquid experience, and it's a lot of fun.
So let's talk about what we want to see modded and kind of what we're not looking for in mods for the UI.
Right. Like I was talking about earlier, the customizability, the personalization is what we're really aiming for. We're trying to steer clear of situations where people using mods get an unfair advantage. Like we don't want people to need the mod to play the game, or for people that have the mod to have an unfair advantage. We don't want people walking into a zone and suddenly knowing where all the mining resources are.
Right.
Like, that would not be fun.
Yeah, it's basically cheating.
Right, exactly.
And if you're not an advanced user, you don't know about that mod, then you're at a significant advantage. Disadvantage.
Right. That's actually a really good point that one of the posters brought up on the forums is that when you first come into the game, you don't know about the ability to mod a UI, and the SOE UI should be really welcoming to the new player, and that's our goal, right? Is for the UI to be super easy to use, super easy to understand, and we will have advanced features in our UI, but I expect that the really advanced things or the really technical things will come out of the moddable UIs.
Absolutely. And I think it's one of the things that is most interesting, and I noticed it in the comments, is this idea that our players, the people who are answering the roundtables right now, they're very advanced users. They're very advanced MMO players. They know what curse is, things like that. And it's cool to see that they're aware of the fact that they're advanced and looking out for the needs of the new player experience.
Yeah, I really liked when people did that, because it's really cool to see our community be kind of selfless. Selfless. Like being aware of that they're not the only person playing the game, and that there are other players who might not necessarily be knowing of all the opportunities that they have to add mods to their game.
So I guess to sum up, we're talking about moddable UI for convenience, for preference, for sort of aesthetics, but we want to avoid advantages like things that would allow you to pull data from.
Exactly. We're actually going to be really guarded about the types of information that people have access to in the mods. We're not going to give them information that lets them take advantage of that. That being said, we do want to provide a lot of levels of customizability. We want people to do crazy stuff we never thought to do and see how that goes, and then see if maybe we can integrate some of that back into our UI.
Absolutely. And I guess just as a caveat, right? Like we're still building the game, so we're still defining the parameters of what is and isn't going to work for this. But as we go, we'll figure that out. And I think Landmark is going to show us a lot of that sort of stuff, even though we won't have it right up front.
Absolutely.
Just the feedback we get out of that, the alpha and the beta process will be really useful.
Yeah, and leading up to that, we've definitely come to points in development of the UI where we're like, we can go this way which would have a really cool feature, but would really limit the amount of customizability. Or we could go the other way, which might be a little bit more work for us to do, but would allow it to stay open and allow people to customize it. And so far, we've always chosen the route of customizability, and haven't sacrificed anything that we've had to do to get there. So moving forward, that's definitely the way we're going.
Excellent. So that's where we are. That's where we're headed. I think probably the most useful thing for you guys to do is let us know, as you're seeing the gameplay videos coming out of Landmark, what kinds of things look like they may need UI mods. What kind of things you immediately see that would make a good mod.
Absolutely. And it's been a lot of fun to actually finally show off some UI. Like in the live stream that we did, it was the first time that people got to see how the game works, not just in terms of mechanics, but in terms of UI. And we have more videos coming up to show that stuff off.
Excellent. So please, use the roundtable. Tell us what you think about the UI. We're listening. Thanks again for joining us. Thank you, Jake.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
See you guys.